Good morning or afternoon, guys. Kyle here. I'm sitting here at the Dillon. I was staring at it and I said, you know what? How long does it take to load 100 rounds? There's been several live chats here lately, and everybody's going back and forth with whatever. This one's better than that one. You need a 650. No, you need a 550. No, you need a Redding. No, you need a this. This was the first press that I bought, and it's done a great job. I've made a couple of upgrades. I have a bullet tray over here. I don't know if you can see all the wonderful colors. Alright, yeah, I got my brass sitting here. Here's where the bin where the completed ammunition goes. Trying to get everything set up. I don't even have primers in it yet, so you're starting from square one. I do have a primer tube loaded up right here that we're going to dump in there in a minute. I want to verify my powder charge. I use consistent powder at a consistent rate, so it shouldn't be that far off. I've got my WAOW, however you say it. I got my Huawei scale right here. Because it's simple and it works good. So let's see what kind of powder charge we're throwing. I'm looking for 3.5, 3.6. And that's straight up 3.6. Okay, so nothing's changed. Alright. Go ahead and power that down. Close that back up. Alright, I'm fixing to load our primer magazine with some primers and load 100 rounds. And if y'all want to sit through it, then sit through it. I'm sure there'll be some commentary along the way, but let's start making ammunition. Alright. There goes 100 primers into the primer magazine. Let's cap off our powder magazines. I think we're done there. Put our locator pin back in on the powder station. And now we can start going. And I'm not in any hurry. I'm just going through the motions. Everybody knows how it is. It's just a lazy Sunday. I know a couple of people have gone to the movies today. I really want to know how the movie was, Tim. Just saying. I think everybody else is pretty much having just a lazy Sunday. I know I am. My boys have barely gotten out of bed to eat breakfast and then disappeared back off into their bat caves. So I decided to come down here into mine and just see what we can do. Been loading a lot of 9mm here lately because I've been shooting quite a bit of it. Oh, I did last season and haven't replaced it because I've been loading rifle ammo. I use this press for 9mm, 40, 45, you know, your standard pistol stuff. Also use it for, what happened? Why are you stuck? You should not be stuck. What happened? Aha! That little guy. Get out of there. Thank you. Now, why are you stuck now? Okay, we're having technical issues. I think it's just me. Okay. Make sure we don't double charge. No, we didn't double charge. Okay. That's the kind of stupid, silly stuff that you deal with on a progressive press. If anything doesn't feel right, just stop. Find out what it is and keep going. But always make sure that you're not double charged. One thing I can say, this UFO 550 press light is amazing. Problem is, if I turn it on, y'all can't see anything. It is that bright. It lights up the world for me, but it blinds y'all. I've been reloading for years and I've got sufficient light where I'm at, so I don't really need it, but you know, it's here. It's a really good thing to have. You can keep an eye on a lot of things that are going on at a lot of different stations. I'm actually looking into getting one for the Lee Loadmaster that's right here. That's what I load my 223 on, because it's super simple and you don't have to mess with anything after you get it set up, as long as you're loading the same bullets. And since I cast my own bullets, I'm loading the same bullets. I found a powder charge that works, and that's what I stick with. We're probably about a quarter of the way through here. One thing I realized that I didn't put in was the oh hell, what would you call it? I guess we'll call it the, let's call it the primer measure. It's what trips the wow, I need to change the batteries in that thing. It's what trips the low primer warner. So I'm gonna stick that back in there. Alright, we're reprimed. We got powder. Alright. I'm just going to get the crank in here for a minute. Spending too much time talking. I've been thinking about adding a case feeder to this little doodad. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, it's not a whole lot of trouble just to throw a case in there. I mean, how hard is that? Which I'm sure if you sat down and loaded 1,000 rounds, it could be beneficial. I tend to load on this thing in short bursts, usually about 100 rounds. Then take a break, walk around, you know, give my back a rest. I used to do it sitting down, and I found that my back really hurt because I had it mounted straight to, oh look, one of those 380s again. I used to load on this thing sitting down. I had it mounted straight to a table, and I'd notice after about, I don't know, 100, 200 rounds, it just, it was uncomfortable. My back was hurting. So I bought this, what the heck does Dylan call it? Strong mount. Bought this strong mount. Now it's, I can just walk up to it. Everything's at a good height. And, you know, just load some ammo. That's all I want to do. One thing that's cool about the Dillon 550 and 650, well, all of them, is the interchangeable tool heads. And if there's enough feedback, I'll even do a video on changing calibers. I'll switch over to 40 and show you how quick you can do that. Especially if you load the same bullet, and you don't have to mess with the bullet depth, powder charge, and all that stuff. It is stupid fast. I've got multiple presses. I've got a Lee Loadmaster, like you see right there, and I've also got a Lee turret press, and that's what I load my, I guess, kind of oddball stuff. I load 44 Magnum for a guy. I don't even have a 44 Magnum, but I loaded it up for him. He is actually a really good lead supplier to me, so I thought it, you know, okay to buy the mold, buy the dies, and load it up for him. So I've got a tool head set up for it. just for my buddy, and he knows who he is. What I'm using for a, y'all will get a kick out of this. What I'm using for a loading bench here, I had all this mounted on a bench in another room, and then I remembered that I had this probably 1978 model Curtis Mathes TV console in the basement. I had problems with my old bench wobbling on me when I would actuate the handles and all, which meant that I couldn't use my Hornady auto powder measure at the same time I was loading rifle bullets, because that's how I load all those. I hand weigh every one of them on the Hornady auto measure, which I don't know if y'all can see. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, you can see it. But it made it a real problem on that rickety bench because it would throw off the weight of my rifle bullets. And oddly enough, I could see that when I would go shoot. And I was wondering what the problem was, and I actually paid a lot closer attention. And no, okay. I paid a lot closer attention and found out that you know, I couldn't load my 308s, my 30-06, my 270s, you know, 243s, stuff like that. I couldn't load that at the same time that it was dribbling out the powder, which really slowed everything down a lot. So I got to thinking, where else can I mount this thing, you know? And I remembered that I had this old, I don't know, it's probably a 40-inch TV, but it's full of vacuum tubes and all this other stuff. I got that thing in the basement. You can't turn it over with a tank. So that's why it's still in the basement, because nobody's had the gumption to get it out. So I sat my Dillon up on here and said, you know what? This will work. So I mounted my Dillon here. I've mounted my Lee Loadmaster here. I had my Lee turret press over here, but I moved it because I was doing another operation, and it did not. The space is limited, which is why I've added this whole countertop section hanging off the side. The space is limited, and what I was doing at the time, the space did not allow for what I had going on. So I moved it back to my old loading table because I wasn't doing anything involving powder or precision measurements or anything like that. I think I was trimming cases, or yeah, I think I was trimming cases. So I had buckets of trimmed cases, buckets of non-trimmed cases. I had, you know, drills and chargers and all that stuff. I use the Lee Quick Trim, but I chuck mine up in a drill. You can set the die up, set the pusher, or chuck, I guess you'd call it, for the Quick Trim. You can set it up to where it's pretty much exactly every time. That felt a little funny. That looks a little funny. You can set it up where it's exact every time, which is really neat, because you can just load case after case after case into your press, ram the die home, and squeeze the trigger on the drill, and you're trimmed, deburred, chamfered, everything all in one step. And there is the primer warning, which means I've got about 4 left. Wow, that's annoying, huh? Alright, let's get rid of that. Let's see if we've still got a primer in there. We might. We do. Can't be more than one or two. But when it gets down to this point, if I'm only making 100, I do everything pretty much single stage. Yeah, we're out. Okay. There you go, guys. 100 minus the one that I threw away. Well, that's what it takes to do 100 rounds on a Dillon 550. I know y'all probably couldn't see any of that because of that light. That's how bright that UFO 550 light is. I actually had a good time making this video. It was fun. I know I rambled a lot. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. See you guys in the next video, and I appreciate the new subscribers. Thank you very much for coming by, and hope you watch this video and hope it finds you in good health. Guys, have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your year. I will see y'all later. Bye, guys.